Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Today what we're going to do is continue to prepare my planners for a Q3 setup. This is basically step 2. I did step 1, which was reviewing all of my planners and making lists, which is what you see here, of what I needed to do to make sure that the planner was ready for Q3. And at the end of that video, I told you that the next steps would be to make a list, turn that review into a list, and then that list into action items and tasks that needed to happen. And that's what this is. So what you see here is the original list I made. I'll link that video down below or at the end of this one or somewhere so that you can access it. And then I took that and added them onto one of my decorated daily sheets that I use as a project sheet. And that keeps me up to date with what I have to do to make sure that I'm ready for my setup. So in this case, I had a lot of inserts to print, and so everything on my print list, has been checked off. That's why this stack of inserts is so thick. So let's get into what these inserts look like, and then we're going to get these cut and punched, and we're going to talk a little bit about the process of setting up your planners for a quarter. So before digging into these inserts closely, let me just say that I know it feels like I'm starting really early, but July is the beginning of a new quarter. So since I make a lot of my own planners, or at the very least I use custom inserts for some parts of my planners, the quarter is always a very heavy, busy time for me to print and cut. So I need to start early. And also everybody really needs to start early. When you see these setup videos at the end of the month or at a beginning of the quarter, it took them a lot longer than the 15-minute video. I mean, you know that, but I'm not sure if you really know the process that some people go through, because I go through a whole process, and I just thought it'd be interesting to share that with you. So in full transparency, okay, this is my third time trying to film this video because it's just a lot of content and I don't want to overwhelm you. And the first couple of times I filmed the video, guys, it was just too much. It was just too much. I was like, that's just too much. You need to, calm it down, restructure it, whatever you need to do, you need to do it because it was just too overwhelming. So hopefully third time is the charm. All right, so let's go through these inserts kind of planner by planner. Again, I did a full review on how I determined what inserts I needed to print. That's in a video I uploaded last week. I'll have it linked down below. Let's get started. The first planner we're going to talk about is my Catchall Planner. My Catchall Planner is set up into multiple sections. Things like leisure and explore, planning and projects, goals, wellness, kind of the common things. So these inserts are basically for all of those sections. The first set of inserts that I printed for my Catchall is for my planning prep section. So it just has 3 months of a 1-page calendar, my monthly planning decor list and tracker, because I do use those in my planning. That's all that I needed, and this is 3 months worth. That section is set up for a full quarter. Then I have some blank pages here that I use for my custom sheets that I do place kind of throughout. Well, I place like my goals and my bucket list, summer goals. I'll place this in my leisure and explore section. I have a word of the year dashboard. I will place this randomly throughout my planner. And then for my Catchall, I also use a 2-page monthly layout in some sections. For example, my wellness section, I am now starting to journal per day in a monthly layout because the space is really small. I'm not doing well with wellness, And so I'm hoping that just having a really small space that I can journal each day, whether I do anything or not. If I don't do anything for wellness that day, I can come in here and just put didn't do anything. Small steps, right? I'm hoping this small step will help me move to a bigger step. And I talked about that in my review video. But so I printed out a calendar for that. For the wellness section, I only update that one time per month. I don't put all 3 months in here at the same time because these are the inserts for the wellness section. And as you can see, as I flip through, well, I have a second July. That's for something else. As you can see, as I flip through, it has a monthly overview. It has a wellness wheel, a glow up tracker. It has a lot of pages for a month. And so I just don't have enough space to put all 3 months at once. So I will set this up monthly with the weekly pages that you see here. Okay, and then my self-care rituals. This is just a list of self-care activities that you can do throughout the month. While I'm getting this organized, let me just say to you that all the inserts that I create and sell, which is basically everything that you're going to see here, are available and they're linked down below. Okay, so then this is where this duplicate calendar came in. I use a 2-page calendar in my faith and soul and spirituality section as well for the same reason I do in my wellness. I'm going to try to journal in here, and it's a really small space, so I shouldn't get too overwhelmed. Okay, so the next section in my catch-all is a Planner Joy section. The Planner Joy sections are sections in my planner. It's a section in my planner that's all about enjoying your planning and being creative. Each month I have a different theme. Last month, I think or this month I should say, I think it was like travel. July is just going to be creative. So I didn't need a lot of inserts for this one. I just have my cover insert, and then I'm gonna put different planner layouts, maybe one of each type, and just throughout the month, I'm just gonna have fun with them. I may not use them, but I'm gonna play with stickers, play with markers, play with my scrapbook paper, and I'm just gonna be creative in my planner layouts. So that's what's gonna happen in July. I set up this section of my catch-all every month. And then the last section in my catch-all is for my memory keeping. I have another calendar in here. And then I also have my memory keeping sheet, which is a printout from Light's Planner Action. I bought this. I did not make this one. I love a lot of their printouts. But she has memory sheets that are set up by the season. So this is the summer season. So it doesn't start in July. It started in June, but it goes from June to July and to August. And it just has just enough space to memory keep without being overwhelmed. And I printed out a supporting page for that. So those are the inserts for my catch-all. Everything that I need to print, everything I needed to print for Q3. Now, I will insert my Catchall Monthlies from the actual Catchall Planner. I don't print unique monthly layouts for that. I just use the parenting layout that came with the Happy Planner. So that is setting up, well, not setting up, but that's the printing I need to do for my catch-all. Okay, the next planner is my work planner inserts, and the rest of the planners are way more straightforward than the catch-all. The catch-all has a ton of different sections, so kind of getting that organized is just a little bit stressful, but the other planners are way more straightforward. So in my work planner, I needed to update some of my quarterly and annual sheets. So my social stats tracker page, this sits in the front of the planner. My quarterly marketing plans, I obviously print these every quarter and I put them in the front of the planner. My quarterly video planning, same, is quarterly. So they're going to go in the front of the planner for the quarter. right? I only have to print those once. They're not monthly, they're quarterly. So then in my monthly layouts though, I use inserts from my small business planner that I offer, and I use a monthly dashboard, a pre-planning calendar for all of my videos, and then I have a monthly video schedule. And then I use the quad so that each week I have more than enough space to write down my to-do list specifically related to film. So generally I use 2 quad boxes per week, one for what I need to post and another one for what I need to film. That's generally how I use these pages. And that's it for the month. So the rest of these inserts is just 2 more months of those inserts, because in my work planner it is fully set up for a full quarter. So everything that's monthly is set up for 3 months. So I printed out enough for 3 months, as you can see. Okay, so that is my business planner inserts, and they are ready to be cut and punched. The next planner that I need to adjust for quarter 3 is a specialty planner. I needed to add in some annual pages to make sure I had enough, and so I just printed a few of those, not a ton. These are all the same page, and I will just stick these in my annual section, right? So your quarterly planner updates, unless you're changing something drastically, a lot of the time it's just kind of refilling your inserts and making sure that they're still working for you and making the changes that you feel like you need to change. So in my monthlies for this planner, I don't print a ton of custom inserts. I do a monthly overview, and then I do a habit tracker for the month so I can track different habits, and I do a notes page. That's pretty much all I do for my monthly inserts, because in this planner, I actually use a Happy Planner vertical. I don't know if I'm going to use a vertical for Q3, but the point is I use a Happy Planner structure, either vertical or horizontal or something, dashboard, whatever I choose to use. So that is what the monthly is. That's where I do my monthly planning. And then I just insert this monthly overview kind of section, which is only 2 or 3 pages, in the back of the month, so that I have, it's custom a little bit to me and how I want to use the planner. That's how this planner works. This planner I actually set up as 6 months, so there are actually 6 sets of inserts here. Okay, so this one is now ready to be cut and punched. All right, so the next planner that I need to update for Q3 is my reading journal. My reading journal is also a 6-month setup, so semi-annual, and that means July is when I need to set that up. So I have a couple of pages that are annual, or they're tracking pages, they're not monthly. So such as this 100 book challenge. My 100 book challenge for the year is just about complete, so I needed a new one, an additional 100 book challenge page. And then my book of the year bracket, in my book journal book planner insert that is offered on Etsy, which is linked down below, I have a monthly book bracket in there, but I don't have an annual book bracket. And so I created this book of the year book bracket, and I'll probably make this available for free down below, so that if you did buy the reading planner or reading journal, then you can follow the link down below and get the book of the year. Even if you didn't buy the reading journal, you can still get the book of the year bracket. If you are interested in these inserts as I flip through them, they will be linked down below as well. But I needed to add a book of the year bracket. I also need to add some reading wrap-up sheets. This is where I keep track of all the books. I put in a sticker of the book cover and I do a quick rating. So I was running out of those pages, so I need to add some more for Q3. I added a lot, because I read a lot, so you know, I need a lot of those pages. I also need to add some more book review pages. I added some audio book reviews. And then I also added a full book review page. So really updating my tracking sheets, book reviews, things like that. My audio book review needs to go up here. So those are kind of like the tracking and annual inserts that I needed to add. I also added in my monthlies. So my reading planner is not really a planner. It is a journal, because I don't really plan when I read. I don't need to do that. I read enough that I don't have to plan it, but I do like to come in and plan when books are going to be released. That's what I use my monthly for. And then since it is a reading journal, each month I have my book bracket. This is what I was talking about before. This is available in the inserts that are linked down below. I have my book bracket for the month. I have a monthly overview, which I did not have in the first 6 months of this year. It was always available in the reading planner that I offer. I just chose not to use it for the first 6 months of this year, but I'm bringing it back for the last 6 months. And then I have just a list of books that I want to read. This is where I keep track of the books I want to read for the month. And that's pretty much it for my monthly inserts. This is going to repeat 6 times. In my actual journal, what I do is I come in and I insert Catchall Planner's weekly journal pages, and that's what I use for my weekly journaling. And that's really the only thing from her journal that I use. Now in my book journal that's linked down below, it has its own weekly journal pages, which I love those as well. I just was on the mission to use things that I actually bought this year, so I decided to use the Catchall Planner because I paid money for it. But next year, I probably will print my own because I've already created them. So these inserts are ready to go and ready to be cut and punched for reading. All right, so the final planner that I need to update for Q3 is my budget planner. Lots of inserts for the budget planner, right? I set it up 3 months at a time. The only annual sheet I needed to update was my quarterly budget, obviously, because it's a new quarter. So I need a new quarterly budget sheet. And then I have 3 months worth of budget inserts for July, August, and September. I did make a few changes, not to the pages themselves, but to the order in which I printed my sheets this quarter. So I still have my full monthly budget up front. As you guys know, if you've watched my videos, I am testing the paycheck cash flow sheet. It is in test right now. So it is not in the current budget inserts that are available from my site. They're linked below. This is in test to see if I need to roll it out for my 2026 budget planner, which I think I will, but I'm testing it this quarter. So after the budget, I go into my cash flow pages. The monthly cash flow is what I currently have in my budget inserts. I love using these, but I just thought if you don't get income weekly, you might want to do a cash flow semi-monthly or by paycheck, and that's where their test sheet comes from. But I go into the monthly cash flow, and it follows right after the budget, and then I go into my weekly expenses with my expense tracker and my digital envelope categories. Okay, and I have 5 of those per month so that I have more than enough for the weeks as I need them. And then after the last week, I have my monthly category tracker. I purposely printed this a little bit different for this quarter. I think in the other quarter, I had this sheet front and back. And so just to kind of save space, because this is a really thick planner, it gets to be really thick. This is really thick paper. It's just a thick planner. So to eliminate a blank page, I printed this to flow directly from the last week into the monthly category sheet. If you get the budget inserts that I offer, the great thing about printable inserts is that you can print them however you want. Yes, they're set up in a suggested structure, but you don't have to stick to that. I change mine all the time because some things may work in a different way than I think. And so, you know, that's the beauty of having something that you can print over and over, and you can choose which pages you want to print. Okay, monthly category tracker, and then I wrap up with my reflect and celebrate, which is where I'm just really reflecting on that month. Same thing here. I eliminated a blank page by just condensing those together so that they print for me in a way that flows a little bit better. You can do the same thing. It's not going to be set up like that if you buy the inserts, but you can print however you want. And then I have a 30-day challenge each month. And I have some extra expense tracker sheets because y'all know sometimes I go over the allotted space because I have a lot of expenses. So that's what it looks like for each month. And as you see, it's pretty thick per month. So by the time I put 3 months in here, this planner gets really thick. That's why I was trying to kind of eliminate some of the blank pages. But that just repeats for 3 months. And so this is the second month, and then this is the third month. And that gives me all the inserts that I need to update for quarterly. So I'm super excited about that. I don't know where this little smudge came from, so I may reprint that. But these are all of my inserts, you guys. Right here. Very thick, as you can see, but all ready to be printed or all ready to be cut. I am not going to cut these live with you because it's probably going to take me about 30 minutes to cut and punch all of these. But I do want to say a couple of things to you about printing inserts in general and setting up for different quarters as I wrap up this video. So if you are interested in printing your own inserts, whether you make them yourself or you buy them from someone, you buy them from Etsy or some other store, it's really easy to do it, you guys. Just follow whatever printing instructions they give you. Generally, if you buy an insert that was designed for a classic sized planner, it will print classic sized, but you need to then cut it down. So for example, my Catchall is a classic size printer, classic size planner. All of my inserts are designed to print at classic size, okay? But they're gonna print on regular size paper. They're gonna print on 8.5 by 11. And I have these cut marks here, right? So that I know where I'm supposed to cut to take this down to 7.25 by 9. Which is classic size, right? So it's designed to print classic size, but it's gonna print on 8.5 by 11, and I have to cut it down following the cut marks and measurements. If you're in the US, most of your inserts are gonna work the same way, no matter who you buy them from, right? You're not expected to go find classic size paper and print on that. Print on your normal paper, and you just cut it down. When you are printing, make sure you choose print at actual size or print at 100%, because your your print dialog box is probably going to try and automatically enlarge it to cover the entire 8.5 by 11, and you don't want it to do that. So just make sure you select print at actual size or print at 100%, which is the same as actual size, right? You're not enlarging or making it smaller. yeah, so I just wanted to say that about printing. And then the other thing I'll say is cutting. I don't use any type of special cutting board. I just use a basic cutting board. I think it cost me about $20. You can get cutting boards as low as $5 or $6. You will see some people have cutting boards and cutting machines, and they're like $100 plus. Let them do their thing. Maybe they have a business or something like that. But I'm saying, you as a regular, normal, everyday planner where you're not cutting thousands of pages, you don't need that. You really don't. A $5 or $6 trimmer from Amazon will get the job done, or Walmart or wherever. And then you can kind of go up from there based on what you needed. I started with the $5 or $6 trimmer. It worked great for a year. Still use it when I need to. Now, if I'm being honest with you, I upgraded to something that cost about $17 or $18, primarily because I needed to cut 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. That's really the only reason I upgraded. But I just want to say, you don't need fancy equipment to print, cut, and punch your own inserts. The only thing that's a little fancy is your hole punch. And they can be expensive, but you can also catch those on sale almost anytime. 30, 40, 50% off. And you can end up paying about $20 to $25 for a disc punch machine from Happy Planner or another company. But it's not easy to find them with other companies. I think Arc, Levenger, and then maybe a few off-brand names will have a few, but they can be kind of expensive. So I don't want you to go out here and you overpay for something that you don't need. You can get the Happy Planner punch. It doesn't punch a lot of pages, punches like 3 at a time, but you can get the Happy Planner punch for like $22, $23 at Michael's when they have a sale. Not that big of a deal. Don't stress yourself out about it. Okay, so that is it. As far as the Q3 setup, this is step 2. It is done. Step 2 was printing my inserts. Like I said, I'm going to cut and punch these off video. And then step 3 is going to be when I start putting these planners together. And so I will do that probably per planner. At most, I might have 2 planners in a video, but they take a little bit of time to set them up. So I'm not going to have too many planners in one video. So it'll be at least 2 planner setup videos coming over the next couple of weeks, maybe 3, possibly 4. So thanks so much for watching. Thank you for following this process. I hope it was helpful. Like I said in the other video, I'm just kind of bringing you into this process with me. This is something I would have done anyway, whether I was filming a video or not. And I just thought it'd be interesting to share with you the process I go through. So thanks for watching. Happy planning.